I remember the way she used to hum in the kitchen, the way her fingers danced over the counter as though preparing a meal were a sacred ritual. I used to believe those quiet moments were the truest expression of love, ordinary, constant, dependable. I used to believe I knew everything about her. I was wrong. The change came subtly. A longer pause before answering a question. A stiffness in her smile that hadn't been there before. I brushed it off at first, work stress, perhaps, or fatigue. Life wears on everyone in different ways, I told myself. But the distance grew, unspoken but unmistakable. She still kissed me goodnight, still laughed at my jokes, still laid her head on my chest as we watched television. But something had shifted. A curtain had fallen between us, invisible but thick enough to muffle truth. It started with her phone. She used to leave it anywhere, on the table, on the armrest of the couch, even in the bathroom. But now, it never left her side, not even for a moment. Once while she was in the shower, I heard it vibrate. My eyes went to the screen, instinctively. The message preview read only one word. Soon. I didn't open it. I told myself that even looking at the screen was a violation. Trust is sacred, isn't it? That's what love is built on. And yet that one word lingered in my mind like a whisper I couldn't silence. Days turned into weeks. The weight of curiosity became unbearable. She'd go out more frequently, always with some vague excuse. Groceries, a walk, meeting an old friend. But she'd return quiet. Her cheeks flushed in a way that didn't match the cold air outside. I pretended not to notice. Pretended everything was fine. Pretended I wasn't dying inside from the not knowing. One night, I couldn't sleep. I watched her lying beside me, her breathing deep and even. I reached for her phone. Slowly, carefully. It was under her pillow. That was new. My fingers trembled as I lifted it, holding my breath like a thief. But it was locked with a code. I didn't know. I put it back and lay awake until morning. She noticed something had shifted in me. She became more affectionate, too affectionate, as though trying to paint over cracks in a wall with soft words and warmer hands. It only made me more suspicious. Love, I realized, could be both a balm and a blindfold. I started watching her, not openly, not in any way she could detect. I kept a mental log when she left, how long she was gone, what she wore. Patterns emerged. Every Thursday evening she disappeared for exactly 2 hours. She'd return with a faint perfume that wasn't hers, a scent I couldn't place but one that clung to her skin like betrayal. One Thursday, I followed her. She drove to the edge of town, where the streets grew quieter and the houses sat farther apart. She parked in front of a modest home with dark shutters and ivy crawling up the walls. She didn't knock. She had a key. I sat in the car, heart pounding like a war drum, eyes fixed on the closed door. Every second felt like an eternity. I expected to see someone else arrive. A man maybe, someone who'd greet her with arms she used to save for me. But no one came. She stayed inside for the full 2 hours. When she emerged her face was different, not guilty, relieved. As though whatever burden she carried inside those walls was something she didn't have to hide in there. I didn't confront her that night. I couldn't. I felt like I was unraveling, and I didn't know where the thread began. All I had were fragments, and I didn't know how they fit together. I needed more. So I followed her again, and again. Each time the same house, the same duration, the same expression when she left. I began researching the address. It belonged to a woman, older, retired. No social media presence, no apparent relationship to us. I considered knocking on the door, introducing myself, demanding answers, but I was afraid of what I'd find, afraid that the truth might be something I couldn't forgive. I started keeping a journal. I wrote down everything, every conversation, every strange glance, every lie disguised as a casual comment. The journal became an obsession, my only anchor in a sea of confusion. I was a detective in my own life, chasing clues I didn't understand. One night, I finally asked her, "Who lives in that house?" She froze, spoon halfway to her lips. Her eyes flicked up to mine, wide, startled, like a deer caught in headlights. "What house?" she asked too quickly. I didn't answer, I just waited. Her shoulders dropped. She set the spoon down. Silence stretched between us, thick and suffocating. "You followed me," she said, more hurt than angry. I nodded. She looked away, then back. "It's not what you think." I wanted to believe that. I truly did, but I said nothing. I waited again. She hesitated, then reached for my hand. Her touch was warm, but my skin recoiled without permission. I promise you, I haven't been unfaithful, she whispered. But there are things I haven't told you, things I didn't know how to explain. Then explain, I said, my voice hoarse. She took a deep breath and looked into my eyes. That woman, she's my mother. The words struck like a stone to the chest. Your mother's dead. She's not, she said quietly. I lied. I sat back, stunned. The room seemed to spin. Why? She was crying now, not loudly, just silent tears, streaming down her cheeks. Because she's not the person you think a mother should be. I didn't understand. Not yet. She abandoned me when I was 7, she said, left in the middle of the night. My father told me she died. That's what I grew up believing. But she didn't. She reached out to me a year ago, she said. A letter, no return address, just her handwriting. I knew it instantly. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't know what I was walking into. I didn't want to involve you. I needed to face her alone, to see what she wanted. And what does she want? I asked. She's dying, she said, her voice breaking. She has no one else, no friends, no family. She's been living alone for decades. And now, when she needs someone, she came to me. I struggled to process her words. So much of what I'd imagined had been wrong. And yet, something still didn't fit. Why meet in secret? She asked me not to tell anyone. She's ashamed of what she did, of who she was. She thinks she doesn't deserve forgiveness. And you? I asked. Do you forgive her? She looked away. I don't know. I want to. But every time I see her, I remember the night I cried myself to sleep on the kitchen floor, waiting for her to come home. The pain in her voice was raw, and for the first time in weeks, I felt something other than suspicion. I felt sorrow. Deep, aching sorrow. For her, for us, for the secrets that had quietly burrowed into our marriage, like termites. She reached for me again. This time I let her. I wasn't trying to shut you out, she said. I was trying to protect you from a part of me I thought I had buried. We sat in silence, hands entwined, as the weight of truth settled around us. In the days that followed, she told me more, about the letters, the awkward first meeting, the anger that bubbled up in her every time she looked into the eyes of the woman who left her behind, but also the fragile thread of curiosity that kept pulling her back. I met her mother 2 weeks later. She was frail, quieter than I expected. Her voice trembled, but her eyes were steady. She didn't apologize. Not at first. She simply told her story, halting and ashamed. The addiction, the men, the escape. I wasn't strong, she said. I'm still not, but I'm trying to be better, even if it's too late. It wasn't too late, not completely. Healing didn't come all at once. It came in pieces, small moments, quiet understandings, slow forgiveness. We began visiting her together, watching my wife sit beside the woman who had once vanished from her life. I saw something shift in her. Not closure, something deeper, a reclaiming of what had been taken. I'd spent so long fearing the secret she carried, fearing it would destroy us, but in the end, it didn't. If anything, it made us stronger.